Welcome, traders, to Enduring Resolve, the podcast where we talk about achieving financial independence through trading. I'm your host, Luis. This is episode 8. We're going to talk about should you leave your financial advisor? Controversial topic, but we're going to get into this. We're going to give you a little bit about my background. We're going to talk about the value of having a financial advisor, the limitations of having a financial advisor, the services that you need from a financial advisor, and learn what if there is or isn't a place for a financial advisor in your life. So my background, again, I was considering becoming a financial advisor myself. I actually earned the Series 6 and 63 licenses, so I was FINRA licensed. Those licenses are currently inactive, so I'm not a financial advisor. Though I did receive job offers to become a financial advisor from one of the largest investment advisement firms in the country. I majored in economics, and I thought that that was what I was going to do. I was going to be a money manager. So throughout all this, this episode is not at all to disparage the financial advisement community. Those guys sometimes seem to get beat up a little more than they should, but I have an immense amount of respect for the financial advisement profession. I think there's some great people doing some phenomenal work out there, and this is not to discourage their use of a financial advisor. It's more to just acknowledge that, hey, we are traders. We manage money ourselves, and we know how to do this the best for ourselves. Why do we need those people? That's what we're going to talk about. So the value of financial advisors. So if you're not a big money person, then a financial advisor is great to have because they help you develop a financial plan that has metrics and goals for you to achieve. You know how much to contribute to your financial plan over what period of time, what you should and shouldn't do. If you're not very good at dealing with finances, budgeting, investing, then you have someone that is trained and that is able to communicate that with you. Another thing that financial advisors provide us is access to a huge assortment of financial products. I mean, that seems kind of intuitive, but they have more products than what we have access to as traders. And that's a very important thing. So as traders, we're usually trading stock, we're usually trading futures or options, Forex. We typically don't have and I'm generalizing here, we typically don't have an interest in mutual funds, which is what someone's with a Series 6 and a 63, which is what I had, is engaged in. But that doesn't mean there isn't a place for that in your financial plan, right? Now, depending on your strategy, you can still employ a financial advisor. So for us as traders, because of those products I just mentioned, a Series 6 and 63, that's Series 6. So a Series 6 is a limited license and only allows you to, for layman's terms, sell mutual funds or sell fund type instruments, meaning instruments that have a series of securities within them. So we typically would not, as financial advisors, use a professional with a Series 6, and at least the way I think of it. We'd probably would be more using someone with a Series 7. A Series 7 license is what's typically found at the very big brokerages like Charles Schwab and Edward Jones. Those types of financial advisors usually have the big license, which is the Series 7. That's the heavy hit. Those guys can sell anything. They can have access to all financial products that you'd want: futures, Forex, forwards, options, stock, you name it. They can gain access to it, depending on how large or small their firm is. Now, passive strategies, which we've talked about before, you can kind of tune into our previous episodes to learn the difference between passive and active, so if you don't know what I'm referring to. But passive strategies probably lend themselves more to using a financial advisor in that way. If you're an intraday trader, you're probably going to get fired by your financial advisor. Right? I don't think they're going to handle the volume of orders that an intraday trader needs, to be profitable. If you find one that is willing to work with you, hey, more power to you. But I don't think that that's feasible. But that's the values of having a financial advisor. Now, the limitations of having one is usually they're not knowledgeable about trading practices, right? They don't know, at large, and I'm generalizing, everything that is required to be a trader. So that's true even if you went to other professions. When I was a real estate investor, realtors didn't understand real estate investing. It was a foreign world to them. Financial advisors are trained to be financial advisors. They're trained on how to sell those products, understand those products. They're not trading. They are selling a product. So with that comes, there may be skepticism on the part of an individual financial advisor as to what it is that we're trying to achieve. Additionally, the fees may not be in your favor. So they're not necessarily designed to cater to I don't want to say high volume, but a higher volume than normal, because we as traders are more than likely trading more than the average person is. We're doing more transactions than the average person is. So the fee structure at your financial advisor may be structured in such a way that it's catering to people who don't trade very much at all. It's not a volume-based pricing thing. So you may be paying more to have your financial advisor place your orders than if you went with a firm that catered to traders that would offer a lower fee because they know they're going to make their money in volume. Okay. Now, with that, I kind of hinted at it with my previous statement, is they may not be able to commit the necessary time for your trading practices, right? So some financial advisors have hundreds of clients. As I was venturing into that profession, I'd meet advisors that would have 300 clients, and they would continue to grow their client base. And as they outgrew some of their newer clients, they would transfer those clients onto newer advisors, and that's how newer advisors would come in with a book of business. But when you're serving many clients, hundreds, you're not tracking one client at a time. If one client has considerable needs, it may not work. If it takes a lot of that advisor's time to serve you in making sure that you make money, but there's no cost benefit analysis. If it costs him or her too much time, and their hourly rate pretty much plummets by serving exclusively you, these people have to have a life. They have to pay their rent as well. So it may not be in their interest to serve you, so got to keep that in account. Depending on how their business is structured, it could be hard to get a hold of them. It's if they're a lone wolf, no secretary, have a bunch of clients, trying to get a hold of them to put an order in, it might be a challenge. If you're with a smaller company that you have to get with the financial advisor for any type of order processing, that might be a challenge for you. Alternatively, a larger company may have a trade desk that takes orders in the event that you can't get a hold of your financial advisor. That would be a good way to mitigate that risk, is being able to say, okay, there's somebody else I can go to. But in any case, now you are dealing with this challenge and this problem that you have to go through some hoops to get your orders filled, either to get in or out of a position, which is not usually the way. Well, it's not the way we trade. That's you want to be able to be decisive and get yourself in and out of trades when it's time to get in and out of trades, right? So anything that is a barrier to that is just not sound for the way we do business. Now, another limitation that for financial advisors is that Many advisors are actually sales professionals and not financial experts. That's a huge shock to many people. A lot of these professionals, that I'm not knocking again the profession. I'm just kind of just sharing my opinions. Some of these professionals, uh, you will know more than they do about finance than they do, but they understand how to bring a client on, serve that client, sell them uh, whatever products they need. They understand sales, and then that's what the profession is at its core. They're sales professionals. The sales profession, when you have a sales professional, I have immense amount of respect for them, because a true sales professional is selling you a service that is actually making you better off, and in turn making them money. They're not just shoving some product down your throat. It's a true sales professional. It's that. But that said, um, it still may be the case that you may be more financially sound and more financially an expert than they are. So, pros and cons of having a financial advisor. Now, how can we start being able to employ them? Is there a place for them for a trader? And I say yes. I say very, very much so. And it goes back to one of the first points I made as to the advantages of having a financial advisor, one of the values of having a financial advisor. And that's the one thing that they have access to uh, that is immediately obvious, at least to me, is tax deferred plans. Okay. Now, these include education plans for the children in your family, be that your kids, your nephews, your grandchildren, the 529s, and all the other education plans that are out there. You most likely will not be able to do those as an independent financial advisor. You would need, an independent trader. You would need to go to a financial advisor to gain access to those. And those are, I'd say, very critical to life. That we need to save for our children's education. And the only way we're going to do that, or the best way we can do that, is by way of financial advisor. Another way that financial advisors that can play a very key role in our success as traders are retirement plans. Now, some brokers will allow you to trade your IRA, right? And this is not what I'm talking about. So once you get good enough at trading, you can actually trade your IRA, meaning you take your IRA, wherever it is, be that Roth or traditional, and roll it over into an IRA with a brokerage account, and the same one you're trading with, and trade your IRA the same way you trade your trading account. That's more kind of FYI for you, but that's not the point I'm making here with the financial advisor. What I'm making is, once you are to the point where you can have an entity as a trader, be that an LLC, an S corp, a C corporation, when you're trading through an entity, not trading through your own name, now that opens up a wonderful door for you. You can now open up a retirement account for that entity, for that business, just like you had at your day job. Maybe not everybody has pension plans or anything, but you can open up an IRA or 401k for that entity, and the benefits are phenomenal. Okay, because you have a lot more variety as to what type of plans you can create for that entity, and you as an employee of that entity can contribute. And the beauty of it is, for that IRA that we were mentioning earlier, or any IRA that you have, Congress and the government sets limits as to how much money you can contribute to an IRA. And it's usually around, I think the current one is $6,000. Don't quote me on that. You can look that up. But the beauty of having it with an entity that has its own retirement account is you can contribute up to $50,000 a year. So much, much bigger contributions that you can make. You can contribute, and you can have that entity match your contributions. So Now here you have this business that you created that is able to save more than you can, right? So that's the only way you can achieve that is through a financial advisor. You will not be able to do that on your own. So you'd have to go out and find a financial advisor, tell them that you want a small business retirement plan. You have an entity created, and they will walk you through whatever the best methods are to establish that retirement plan. So like we saw here, it's not a simple yes or no question, right? Do you need or not need a financial advisor? That's all dependent on you. It all depends where you are on your situation, where you are in life. But I'd say the biggest deal in all of this, the biggest reason to keep a financial advisor is because they have access to tools that we don't. We don't. And those retirement plans, those education plans are the heart of it. So go ahead and keep in touch with your financial advisor. Find a good one. Find someone you trust, someone you believe in, and someone you can work with. The beauty of that profession is usually when you find one, you find someone for life. You find someone that becomes an extension of your family. And that's why I have as much respect as I do for that profession is, unlike some other professions that are, just as proud, like say a realtor, they help you find your home, a place that you're going to raise your children, but it's transactional in nature in the sense that once they do that, you don't have a relationship with that realtor anymore unless that realtor keeps in touch with you. But a financial advisor is so much more. These professionals stay with you, stay with your family, make sure that your needs are being met, make sure that you have the right accounts in place. So that's worth its weight in gold. So make sure that you don't write off that profession. Make sure you understand everything that's available for you, and find yourself a good one that will give to your family for the years and decades to come. Thanks so much for tuning in. Our next episode is we're gonna delve into what can you trade. So we've talked so many things about right now about getting started, getting in, how to find strategies. Here we need a financial advisor, but now it's what can we trade? Now that you're trading, what other stuff can you trade as a trader? In order to keep posted as to when that comes out, go ahead and please find your way over to our website, www.enduringresolve.com. Subscribe to the website. You'll keep posted on any time we published a podcast or a video on our YouTube channel. That'll come straight to you via that subscription. Anytime we put up a blog post, we communicate with you all any which way that it's the best way to communicate whatever topic it is that we're sharing. So be that a blog, be that a video, or be that a podcast. So you could subscribe again with your favorite podcast app. But if you want to keep abreast of everything that's being pumped out via this medium, then please subscribe at our website. And lastly, if you want to follow me and shoot me a message, best place to do so is at Twitter. Handle is @EnduringResolve. Until then, until next time, keep it green, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.